Major change at Iowa. Offensive coordinator Greg Davis announcing his retirement today after 43 years in the coaching ranks, the last 5 spent in Iowa City. The Hawks won 39 games in those 5 years, which came on the heels of Davis's 13-year stint at Texas. Though he had most of his success as an assistant, Davis was also a head coach for 4 years at Tulane in the late 80s and early 90s. Now, Jerry, we have gotten a chance to spend a lot of time around Greg Davis on our preseason tour over the last 5 years. He's a really good guy, no doubt about that. What does this mean for Iowa's program, his departure?
Well, it'll be interesting what they do offensively. If Kirk doesn't want to change schemes, go to something more wide open or spread, this is obviously a natural time. You know, the one thing about Greg, he worked for Mac Brown. Mac Brown wanted to be a spread guy. Greg plugged in. Greg was a head coach, as you mentioned. He gets to Iowa, and Kirk wants to continue with the pro formation. He plugs in there. So hats off to him for being a team guy. A lot of times coordinators are in their own little world. But to answer your question, it'll be interesting. I don't know that Kirk does want to change. I don't really see him changing, but if he does, this is a perfect time to do it. But it's going to be big shoes to fill. I mean, Kirk's not involved in the day-to-day, play-to-play operation. So he lets his coordinator call the game. So whoever they hire at Iowa is going to have a big role in this offense.
There's, of course, speculation that perhaps Brian Ferentz, his son, would take over. That is one possibility. Whatever and whomever it is, they got to get a little more dynamic offensively. You can do it out of the formations they're in, but this wasn't a great year for them on offense. They were 12th in the Big Ten in total offense, 10th in scoring offense. They did that with a veteran quarterback. Where do you see the deficiencies offensively?
Well, just the way you described them. I think they'd like to be a little bit more wide open. You know, Les went through this at LSU. He wanted to be more wide open too, but you have to use the players you have. And I think Kirk doesn't know necessarily if he has the players to be more wide open. And obviously, every coach makes a decision to run every offense and defense that gives him the best chance to win. So unless recruiting changes significantly, I think we're going to see the same style offense. If Brian does it, to be the offensive line coach and the offensive coordinator, I've done that. There's not enough time in the day. So he may have to move positions if he does it. Tight ends or hell, whatever.
Will it be a huge change next year for them in terms of like how they play and games they win or their record at the end of the season?
You know, if they change offenses, it'll be a different in style. You know, their record's been pretty consistent under Kirk. You know, they're usually, what, 7-12, I guess. Really. Right. I mean, they're a developmental program. So as he says, it takes us every couple of years to have the best team in that span.
Well, it's going to be interesting. There will be a new quarterback next year, among other things, for the Hawkeyes. They did find out yesterday Akram Wadley's coming back, so you have one really good piece there. Again, we'll learn more on Monday. Kirk Ferentz is going to address the media at a news conference then.